I don't understand now why I've allowed Kavenda, I've allowed Councillor Zungu. We are now deciding on the matter, but I'm seeing a lot of hands.
Yes, Speaker.
No. Who's saying yes? Therefore, councillors, I'm failing to understand what the meaning of those hands, because the matter has been open for debate.
Point of clarity, Speaker.
2 hands have been allowed to debate the matter. We are now deciding on the matter.
Point of clarity.
Point of
Speaker.
clarity, Mr. Speaker.
Now, I don't know why councillors are raising their hands. Nyambose?
Point of clarity. The IFP councillor has made allegations that this street has already been named. One would assume, can someone confirm that as a matter of fact? Because if it has already been named, renamed, and there are costs involved, then we've got to know that as this council, because if there are costs involved in renaming, it would amount to irregular expenditure or unauthorized expenditure. So can we get confirmation if that is the case, and if there's cost implications, how much has been incurred? Because we can't just go to vote until we have those details.
I got your point, Nyambose. But the difficulty I have, the manner council runs its business, all the information is contained in the report for council to approve or not to approve. Now, this new trend of expecting report from the executive as recommendations, once tabled to council, and expect someone in council meeting to stand up and answer a question, is something that is very much strange. It's not a nature of how council runs its business. Once the executive committee recommend to council, those details are from the portfolio committee where the matter has been initiated. Now, what you are persuading me to do is wrong. No, it's wrong, because now you want the speaker to look for anyone in council to respond on your question instead of having all the details information in the report for council to decide. Councillor Kwala, you raise your hand.
It's not anyone now, acting city manager.
Nyambose, can we agree ukuthi uyiphathe kahle?
Yes.
Can we agree?
Yes, but also ask questions.
But you can't do what we are doing. You see, order. You see, Nyambose, I know that order, I know that you have a responsibility to lead the opposition bench. But in executing your responsibility, please be orderly. Be orderly. You can lead the opposition, but be orderly. Please. Kwala?
Asibonga Somlomo. Cha akusikhona ukuthi mhlawumbe Somlomo sifisa ukwenza dialogue. But ke yenzeka lento previous council whereby clarity was asked by the IFP council. Uspeaker waqhubeka kodwa ekugcineni wabona ukuthi ubeshayisile. So nakule item thina besifisa ukuthi as-IFP if kunale concern mhlawumbe asilekelele noma legal ukuthi in such allegations iphi way forward noma senze referral back ngoba it won't be correct if we can agree on the authority of renaming while it is already happened. It should be a noting of what is the executive or whomever done it has done the work that we need to carry it in here. So we appeal to you ukuthi last ulegal akasilid ukuthi if kunento enjalo ke how we go about, because ukansela is from there and the ukansela from DA uyasho ukuthi it's not what 77 to what 73 okungenzeka ukuthi mhlambe anikhulumi ngale item ka Ward 73 le abayishoyo council nina nikhuluma ngale ka Ward 77. That should be clarified as a request for councillor siyabonga.
Thank you, Councillor Ugwala. I got your point, but my response is same in what I've said to Mthethwa. I'm not refusing to get a response to your answer, but I'm saying to you, you are making the work of council difficult. If report from the executive committee, we have to expect someone to come, respond and clarify. At this point in time, if I must get someone to respond, because the report is from the mayor and his executive, I can only ask the mayor to give us clarity if you've got the answer, because these reports are from the executive or any member of the executive, because it's their report collectively. His worship, I can see Councillor Hlobo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We debated this matter and there was no correction from all councillors. So we take the report as is, as tabled. So we believe if there is a problem, that can be rectified. You can take a decision here as a council, but that can be rectified later. So your ruling was correct. And what delays us, Honorable Speaker, are these hands that come in between of items. So I think let's manage them because we'll finish at 1 a.m. again today. Thank you.
Councillor Madala.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Somlomo ohloniphekileyo. Ngicela ukubonga kakhulu kubaba uMayor ngokuthi asikhulumele si-executive committee ngoba ozakwethu bonke labesihlala nabo ku-executive committee uma ama-report esefike la kusuke kuyama-report ethu njenge-executive committee kumele ngabe sonke sibamba iqhaza ekwadefendeni. Ikakhulukazi ke le report ngenxa yokuthi asiphikisananga ngayo ngenxa yokuthi sasivumelana ukuthi into ekumele yenzeke le ukuthi silungise la khona amagama emigwaqo efana kuduka imoto kuduka iposi kuduke ne-service delivery. Kodwa ngoba le item iya processwa ekomidini la governance and human resources ngizoyikhulumela njengelunga la khona ukuthi cha yadlula kuthini i-item sayibona savumelana ngayo sa recommend ukuthi inhle kakhulu ayihambiye kwi-executive committee. It's only after this meeting la khona izoqala khona i-implementwe lento esivumelana ngayo. Amaphuzu afana nalawo kuye kwenzeke njenake mase sivumelene u-ETA uzobe usuyayithatha uhambeke uye ko-implementa ngendlela wonke ama-issues aya implementwe ngayo. Ngicela ukuvala lapho in terms of ukuverify ukuthi i-item bengeke hambe koshitsha igaba lomgwaqo singavumelananga mekhona umuntu owenza leyo nto futhi waphula umthetho lo muntu. Kodwa bese ngibuyela kuyona ke lento yokuthi ama-items nje indlela esidila ngawo. We deal with items in terms of reports that are in front of us, and should there be a realization later on that when we took a decision we did not have or were not exposed to a particular information. We have done so in the past where we rescind reports. So in this instance, there's no reason why we should not approve this item. And as far as we are concerned, there's no expenditure that has been incurred as far as this matter is concerned, because there has never been any approval for the changing of the street name until this body approves. Thank you very much. As the ANC, we support the item.
Thank you, councillors. Are the recognition agreed?
Speaker. Mr.
Agreed. Thank you, City Manager.
Mr. Speaker.
I'm not taking hands.
Sorry, Sihlalo. Sicela thina ukufaka abstention ngoba siyabona sizwana.
Okay, thank you. IFP abstain. Let's proceed.
Thank you, Chair. The next item is on page 30, item number 2, ratification of approval made in terms of Rule 28(1)A of the Rules of Order Bylaw 2014, as amended with respect to the civil funeral accorded to late Honorable Councillor, accorded to the late EFF PR Councillor, Honorable Councillor NP Msibi, in line with the requirements of the civil funeral Committee recommends.
Thank you, Councillor Ndlovu, Councillor Kwala, Councillor Madlala, in that order. Councillor Kwala, Councillor Ndlovu, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, Speaker. CEFF lelu hlelo sicabanga ukuthi kuyinto enhle kakhulu umasipala ayenzayo eyenzela amalunga ahloniphekile futhi kuyinto elekelela kakhulu abantu ukuthi bafihlwe ngesidima kungabi khona izinto ezizixaxa emva kwalokho. So lolu hlelo kuuhlelo luhle kakhulu kamasipala esicabanga ukuthi kufanele liqhubekele phambili. However ke Speaker kunenkinga ekhona la yokuthi ama service provider lawe sicabanga ukuthi asomabhizinisi abasathuthuka abaqhamuka eindaweni zokuhlala lezi esihlala kuzona sometimes lento yokukhokhela kwabo ithatha isikhathi eside. As we speak service provider obusevisa lana namanje akukhokhela through ama process kamasipala that are taking long. Sicabanga ukuthi ke lolu hlelo kufanele noma any other activity ekhona involve kakhulu abantu abasakhula osomabhizinisi bakwazi ukuthi basheshe bakhokheleke ukuze kungabi sengazathi inhlelo ezinhle ezenza ukuthi kungabi nama frustrations after I process yokudlulelwa izihlobo but still ifrustrate noma icindezele osomabhizinisi abancane abakhona emalokishini. But over and above uhlelo oluhle lomasipala esicabanga ukuthi ufuna aqhubeka lisebenzise kodwa libhekelele ukuthi laba basakhula nabalekelelayo futhi bakwazi ukuthi baboneleleke bakhokheleke futhi ngokukhulu kusheshsha. Siyabonga Speaker.
Siyabonga Councillor Ndlovu. Councillor Kwala.
Somlomo sibonge ithuba. Kunzima kakhulu ukusebenza nani Somlomo. Ngoba at some point kuke uthola ukuthi niqinisa amakhanda nje kodwa isidinga sikho. Kodwa ke mase kufika le item isifika kanje nalelandelayo sithi kwesikhathi umuntu awumbambeli igqubu kuze kube sekugcineni. But ke siyafisa ukuthi la ipolice njengoba sihleze sifisa ukuthi ayibe nepolice eso understand sonke. Kodwa khona sikushayela ihlombe la ukuthi ke akuyona survival of the fittest. As seen it equals to the previous councillors abahlonishwa ngalolu hlelo. Kodwa ke police sisamile ekutheni ayicace siyazi sonke ayibe nereport nje ephelele ukuthi nayi police ucity manager ngokubambisana nomeya ohloniphekileyo okuyiyona esebenzayo kungabi ngathi kwenziwa ifavor. Yikho ngithi kubhlungu kusenza namaqabane ngoba ngelinye ilanga uyithungazazi ukuthi ubani esebenzisa imajority ongekuyona ngoba abambisene neEFF manje. Kodwa ke siya 2026 no 2024 uzoyixazulula lenkinga. Akufanele izibe personal. Siyabonga kodwa siya support atem.
Order Speaker.
Siyabonga Kwala Madlala.
Order Speaker.
Order.
Siyacela iIFP bandla isadlulelo ubaba umntwana izodlula sacela yehlise nje.
Councillor Madlala.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Somlomo ohloniphekileyo.
Order councillors, order.
Ngicela ukuqala ngenkulu nje inhlonipho ngiphinde ngidlulise amazwi okuzwelana noza kwethu beEFF kanjalo noza kwethu baka governance ngokushiwa ukhansela uMsibi ngenxa yokuthi ebebambe iqhaza kuzona zombili lezi indawo. Bese ngithi ke ngokomthetho ukube sabantu nje kahle ngokuqondile asifaki kakhulu lento yokuthi siyipolitiki igcina sisenza izilwane. Ngiye ngizwe kuthiwa abantu bebizwa ngama political animal bajabule. Kwesinye isikhathi sigcina siyela kakhulu ngasebulwaneni kunokuba abantu ngoba kumele ngabe sinikina amakhanda idlule into ekhuluma ngokuthi umndeni womunye woza kwethu ulekeleliwe ilomkhandlu ngesikhathi ushiwe omunye wozakwethu kufanele ngabe into esingayidebate le kodwa ke ngenxa ukuthi ke so ama political animals ke ezikushiwo kuye kube khona nje leyo temptation leyo ugcina sesikhuluma nangama elections nangazo zonke izinto sesikhohliwe ukuthi imindeni yalabantu kwesinye isikhathi ibukele nehlobo zabo nabangani nabantu abebesebenza nabo babukele nami sengiyacabanga ukuthi ngisebenza kangaka kule council ngelilanga ukuthi mase ngishonile bese kuthi mase kukhunye indaba ukuthi nisize umndeni wami ngemali bese niyageiza ngeindaba zokuvota no 2024 ngishonile mina umndeni wami ungasazi ukuthi uzongcwaba ngani okanye umndeni wami ungazi ukuthi uzosithatha nohlanganise nani ngoba mina ngede bengisebenze ekhaya ngiyanxusa nje ukuthi ngathi lento singangayenza kakhulukazi ngoza kwethu bese yesikhale yenziwa kugcwatshwa abantu ababalekile emphakathini yabona manje sesidlulele mase sizoyenza ningisho nangoza kwethu abantu besihlala nabo sihlephula nabo isinkwa la emkhandlwini kwicouncil siyalisupporta lolu hlelo into yesibili mhlawumbe umuntu ekufanele exolise la njengosihlalo waka governance ukuthi ngoba si responsible sama custodians ama policies ukuthi uma ngabe kukhona ikhansela okanye igroup yamakhansela engayazi policy ethize where the policy khona noma yikho noma ipolicy approve ukuthi ipolicy ithini kufanele siyiblame nathi so ngiyayithatha responsibility yokuthi ngenxa yokuthi khona ikhansela eselithe kule chamber ipolice aliyazi kuyofanele sihlele ukuthi bekhona iworkshop la khona sizoyi-workshop akhona le police ukuze wonke umuntu ayazi nanokuthi i-applywa kanjani ukwenzela ukuthi sidlule futhi ey'ntweni ngenxa yokuthi kukhona izinto ezike zenzeka ngesikhathi esedlule savumelana ngokuthi lezo zinto sizozicorrecta uma sasiyicorrectile lezo zinto asivumi ukuthi izinto seyicorrectekile sekuhamba kahle manje singabuyeli kokudala ukuthi ngoba kwabanjani engathi sabantu abangaxoli ngoba nokuthakatha kuqala kanjalo ebese ke okugcina ke sesiya phambili izwakele isikhalo sokuthi osomabhizinisi abancane kwesinye isikhathi abahlomula kulolu hlelo baye kube khona inkinganyana ebakhona sizonxusa ama officials zethu aqondene nalezi inhlelo ukuthi abheke ukuthi ziyalunga lezo yihibe ezikhona ukuze singaluphinde silikhulume udaba lokuthi bekukhona odlulile walekelelo bese siloku sikhuluma kuloku kunezigiqi njalo esidlula kuzona kube ukuthi nje sithi wadlula uzakwethu futhi incane nalemali esisize ngayo umndeni wakhe sesiyathemba ukuthi mhlawumbe kwakukhona ayiqokelele uzakwethu kuzokwazi ukuthi kusale ukuze ikati lingalali eziko ekhaya siyabonga kakhulu speaker ohloniphekileyo.
Councillors, are the recommission agreed? Mr. Manager.
Next item, Honorable Speaker, is item number 3 on page 31. Ratification of approval made in terms of Rule 28, 1A of the Rules of Order Bylaw 2014, as amended, with respect to civil funeral accorded to late DA Ward Councillor N.P. Msomi, in line with the requirements of the civil funeral policy. Committee recommends.
Councillors, are the commission agreed? Thank you, City Manager.
The next one, Chair, is item number 4.1, motion proposed by Councillor J. Anipen and seconded by Councillor J. Naidu. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mngoni. This is page 30, page 31, item 4.4, right, Mngoni?
4.1.
Item 4.1, item page 31. Yes, I've got speakers here. Councillor Anipen, then with minute donated from MF, ACC, and TA. Councillor Anipen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the IFP notes the report or the response that came back from EXCO and appreciates the fact that the Executive Committee has taken this matter as seriously as we have. And Mr. Speaker, we want to also raise our concerns and register our concerns that since this motion was passed, there have been a number of evictions of tenants who are currently living on this, in these infill housing homes. I know that last week sometime the city had released a statement about the efforts they are making to attend to these matters, but we would also like to see at some point that the city will get involved with the KZN Social Housing Company to put a moratorium on these evictions. The fact is that these are serious concerns. Home ownership is an indication of economic freedom and emancipation. As a municipality, we have a responsibility to ensure that we provide homes to our citizens. In fact, in all of these court cases that are actually before the courts when evictions are concerned, the municipality is cited as respondents in these matters. And we believe that the city has a role to play and must play a more positive and involved role in ensuring that we stop these evictions and these people get, the title deeds as is necessary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, councillors. Are the recommendation agreed? Yes, Councillor Ntuli.
Ixolise speaker angiqondile ukungahloniphi umhlangano nokungahloniphi ngoba ngiyabona ukuthi ikhona futhi enye ezoqhamuka ezansi nayo imotion efike la yadeliberate yasinike indlela ufanele siyise kanjani kwi-executive, then after lokwane time frame tizobuya nini siza la. Benginomcabango nje ukuze singagcini mhlambe senza amaphutha esoqhubeka siwenza ngoba ukudiscuss into esidiscussile sidiscuss angiboni kuyayensense kumina as an individual kulama item ama motion akakaye le director khona umhlangano lesikuwona unote nje ukuthi lento ediscusswe ku executive ebiqhubeka kulolu daba not siknote lokudlula kungaphenduka idiscussion enye in the interest of time. Ngiyaxolisa kodwa makuthi khona ngoko.
Thank you, Councillor Ntuli. I'm sure your colleagues who are council members will be persuaded by your point. But once the matter is in the council agenda, as a Speaker of Council, I can't prevent councillors to engage on the item. But the point we are raising is fair, justified, depending that your colleagues understand the point you are trying to advance, that the matter has been discussed already. Now debating it again, the view being expressed is not necessary. Officially agree with it, but I can't stop councillors if they want to engage. Thank you, Councillor Ntuli, for raising that important matter. Let's move, because already the recommendation has been supported. We'll now move to the next item. City Manager.
Thank you, Babu Speaker. The next item is on page 32, item 4.1.2. Motion proposed by Councillor V. Reddy and seconded by Councillor A. Sahid. Alleged bribery collection by DA Chatsworth councillors under the multi-million rand tender awarded to replace water mains in Chatsworth. Committee recommends.
Thank you, Dr. Mngoni. Councillors, are the recommendation agreed? Thank you. Let's proceed.
The last one on this report is on page 33, 4.1.3. Motion proposed by Councillor J. Anipen and seconded by Councillor J. Naidu. Disturbing revelation by Integrity Forensic Solution regarding tender awards by the eThekwini municipality to companies and individuals under investigation and or with pending court cases. Committee recommends.
Thank you, Dr. Mngoni. Councillors, are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Noted. Thank you very much. I think now we are done with the second supplementary agenda.
Main agenda.
Or the main agenda,
Two follows one.
We are now moving to the supplementary agenda. I will request His Worship the Mayor
Speaker,
to table the report. Councillor Kuala.
IFP bicela nje 15 minutes caucus sibuye sesiqedile. Cha sinkatha nje.
Order. Councillor Kuala, can I give you 8?
Aye.
Can I give you 8 minutes?
Kulungile sihlalo siyabonga.
8 minutes.
Bayeke laba
Granted.
namakhanda
Strictly 8
amakhulu.
minutes. Granted. Thank you.
10 minutes, Lalo.
Thank you.
Ama-speakers abo ayiguquka nje. Ngicela nje sihlaphe speaker sibathathe nabanye.
Okay.
Angisawabhalanga.
No, ngoba vele
bazobuya sekuyamalele nalaba abasele.
their caucus, but they can't report while there's movement and there's noise. Let's allow them to report, but let's maintain order. Take your seat before we receive the report from the IFP caucus.
Asibonge Somlomo. Cha besifisa njengoba ilokhuzana ifike late kithi ukuthi si scrutinize bese sikwazi ukudeliberate sibambisana. Bese kushesha lo 6 obushilo ube yiwona.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Kuala. Let me invite the mayor to table the ESCO report. His worship.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to table the third report of the Executive Committee to the House. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob Mayor, City Manager.
Thank you, Babu Speaker. The first item on this report is on page 3, request for authority to implement Masakane Outreach Program in the 23-24 financial year. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Councillor Sokabasa.
Siyabonga Speaker. Siyafisa ukuthi wamukelwe lo mbiko kulendlu ngoba iyalekelela kakhulu ila esiqoqa khona abantu bethu bomphakathi sibahlanganise ngama ward ahlukahlukene bese sibacelela ukuthi ama officials eze azobanikeza ukuthi enzani nokuthi enzeni nokuthi okunye kwabo ababekufisile kuzokwenzeka nini. Siyafisa ke khongolose ukuthi indlu yonke iwamukele bese abantu bekwazi ukugqugquzeleka bahambe bayolalela uma kwenziwa omasakhane ezindaweni zabo ngoba yila bathola khona ingcukaca ukuthi umkhandlu usebenza kanjani nokuthi yini osazoyenza nokuthi yini esiyenzekile nokuthi okungenzekile kubanjwe yini yila isithola khona kalula kulekelela kuma budget hearing lawa esuke enkade bewenzile abantu kuhambisana ndawonye. Ngiyabonga Speaker.
Yeah, thank you. Let me explain something because the agenda was emailed to caucuses late yesterday. I've got pieces of papers with the list of speakers. I'm trying to reconcile that list. I can see that item 3, Mwango, Councillor Mwango, you also want to have a say on the item?
Speaker,
Councillor Nyambosa?
whilst you are still on the pieces of paper, I just want to check because you allowed us to go to caucus on the supplementary agenda during lunch. Are you then treating the supplementary agenda as a laid-on table? Because you can't all bombard with pieces of paper, it's going to confuse you. Are you then able to allow us to treat this as a laid-on table so that we can just raise hands on the floor? But of course, it has to be managed.
Yes, I don't have a problem with that. We made a request to whip of parties that they must try to submit the list so that we are orderly, but won't be strict in not allowing councillors who might want to speak who have not submitted list. We are going to take those hands, but there are some caucuses of parties who have gave us a list of which is what in the meeting of whip was recommended. But if there is a view that there are people who have not submitted the list, they want to speak, I will allow those people because we agreed in our meeting because the agenda was emailed very late to caucus. But those who are here, we are going to invite them. If there's anyone who wants to speak, you will just raise your hand and we'll note that hand. Councillor Mwango.
Ngibonga Somlomo. Somlomo, while this initiative, outreach, umuntu engathi abalekile uxhumana nomphakathi. Kodwa ngicabanga kukhona okuningi ungathembani ngoba siyazi ukuthi iqembu elibusayo libuye lisebenzise le program kabi ukuyo campaign manje sikuthola kunzima ke esection SA ukuthi sivumele imali
Point of
yomkhaya
order.
inikeze
Order, Speaker.
Order.
Bengicela i-ANC ingabizwa ngeqembu. Ingabizwa ngeqembu ayiyona iqembu umuntu oqembukile siyabonga.
Qembu.
Councillor Mncwango.
ngiyabonga Somlomo vele bengenza iphutha vele aniphethe nina nibanjisiwe nje ngenza iphutha manje niphethe ngiyaninika nje isikhundla esingekho niphethe iphi ningana amandla okuphatha so Somlomo esikhala ngakho nje ukuthi sinakho ukuthi hey sisebenza nogalakajana esingeswazi ukuthemba ukuthi le mali yosebenza ngendlela efanele nokuthi emphakathini ngaphandle ukuthi gciniza ama program.
Point of order, Speaker.
Point of order.
I-order yami Speaker angazi ukuthi u-item bani lapha ya kuma rules ngoba angihlele endaweni yami kodwa there are two groups of people that Councillor Mncwango is casting aspersions on. It's either is casting aspersions on us as fellow councillors, which is not allowed, or on the officials who prepared the report, which is not allowed. And I want him to withdraw because ugalagajan cannot be used to describe any member of this council, be it an official or a councillor of this municipality. Thank you.
A point of order is sustained. Councillor Mncwango, focus in your debate. Avoid use offensive language, provoking other councillors. Just focus on your debate. Please withdraw your statement.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I think one must say, Honourable Speaker, the concern.
Councillor Mncwango, please
Withdraw.
Oh, withdraw.
Order. Mncwango, please withdraw.
Ukalakachan?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yes.
Can we withdraw Mncwango? We don't have time.
Yes, ngisho khona phela. Ngisho khona ukuthi ngiyamwithdraw ukalakachan. Ngiyawithdraw.
Thank you. Proceed.
So,
Your time is up. Councillor Mncwango.
How uyabona ke?
Your time is up. Thank you. Nyambosa, you wanted to speak on the item or you were just raising a statement?
It was a statement for other items.
For other items. No problem. Councillors, are the recommendation agreed? Thank you very much, City Manager. Okay. Let me have the screen. Those who are in support, please raise your hands.
Yeah, supplementary is the first one.
Thank you very much. Lower your hand. Those who are voting against. Those who are voting against.
Ugalagajana nemqondo u2.
Thank you. Those who abstain. Those who abstain. Siyabonga. Those who are in support, 166. Those who are against, 3. Those who abstain, none. Therefore, the item will be carried through. Thank you very much, City Manager. Next item.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The next item is on page 5, review of air quality management plan for eThekwini municipality. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much. Page 5, item 12. Councillor Mngadi, ANC.
Covered, Speaker.
Thank you very much, councillors. Are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Thank you. The next item is on page 7. Item 2.1, public tender awards of eThekwini municipality for the month ended 31 July 2023 is here for noting. Committee recommends.
Page 7, 2.1. Are the recommendation noted, councillors?
Noted.
Thank you, City Manager.
The next one is on page 8, item number 2.2, investment report for the month ended 31 July 2023. It is here for noting. Committee recommends.
Councillors, are the recommendation noted?
Noted.
Thank you, City Manager.
The next one on page 8, item 2.3, budget statement report for the month ending 31 July 2023 is here for noting. Committee recommends.
Page 8, I've got speakers. I've got, let me check here. I've got Councillor Berthe, Councillor Ben, Councillor Mngwango, and Councillor Kasa. In that order, from the Berthe.
Thank you, Speaker. No, I think with the agenda coming late, I'm speaking on point 2.6 on page 11, not on this point. Thank you, Speaker.
Not on 2.3?
No, Speaker.
2.6, that's fine. We'll note to there. Councillor Penn?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That was my intention also to speak on 2.6, not 2.3.
2.6, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mwango.
Can I take their time as well? Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I think one must say, while you note this item, I would really appreciate if Council can look at the issue of meter readers, because part of the problem we are facing when it comes to the revenue, especially with meter readers of water, it's a big challenge in our communities. Can we prioritize and ensure that we get them back? Because over the past few months, there is no meter reading, which caused a lot of estimates and a lot of confusion on our bills as residents. So can we appeal that this matter is sorted out? And even if it means we in-source meter readers, because most of them are out there available. Some have been on the system for 27 years, but are working for private companies. So it's an appeal that we just look at this matter by ensuring we in-source meter readers. Then we can bring dignity to our people out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mwango. Councillor Kasa.
Asibonge kakhulu Somlomo. Siyafisa ukumukela kakhulu lo mbiko we budget statement. Balulayo nokho ingqinamba esinazo, kodwa there are major advances that we are making as the city in terms of making sure that ama issues afana no water losses, there is a great improvement. So we acknowledge the challenges where they persist, but with the explanation that was given by our officials too, si happy kakhulu ngegiya esihamba ngalo. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kasa. Councillors, are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Acting City Manager.
Just a point of order here, please, Speaker. Sorry to interrupt. Speaker, earlier that was pointed out that the board with the voting is not calculating correct. If you look at it, you'll see that on the left-hand side, if you calculate the numbers, it comes to what you've got there, 160 odd. But if you take that on the right-hand side, it doesn't get calculated. There's no total at that side, so it doesn't calculate at the grand total. The grand total is only taking on the left-hand side. It's not calculating the votes on the right-hand side of the table.
Thank you, Councillor, to bring this to our attention. Secretariat, please attend to that. Numbers are very much important in the business of council. We can't have numbers that are conflicting and numbers that are not accurate. It affects the integrity of the council meeting. make sure that you address that. It should not happen in future. Thank you. Acting City Manager.
Thank you. The next item is on page 9, item 2.4. Unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure incurred for the year ended 30 June 2023. The report is here for noting. Committee recommends.
Thank you. I've got speakers. Councillor Paruk, you will be number 1. Then there's a hand there.
Councillor Jane Naidu, Ward 99.
Is Councillor Anipen?
Councillor Jane Naidu, name Naidu.
Jane Naidu, right? Then who else? That's fine. Yeah. Then Councillor Mia. Then in my list, I've got Paruk. I've got Councillor Kaunda, in that order. Paruk?
Speaker, yet again we got unauthorized irregular expenditure. We're looking at just under 900 million. We're just going to be writing off monies like this. How are we going to sustain this city? In the last financial year, we had similar issue, just under 2 billion. Now, we just started the year and now we got about 900 million. How are we going to account for this, Speaker?
Oh, when normally debate kabuhlungu nje. Thank you, Councillor Jane.
Thank you, Speaker. The IFP notes with deep concern the disturbing and unabated trend of irregular, wasteful, and fruitless expenditure. Speaker, I draw a parallel to the irregular expenditure backlog of 4.3 billion, which sits on top of our lap. Out of this accumulative and aged expenditure, 2.3 billion has been written off with poor and negative outcomes of non-recovery of funds and no consequence management meted out due to debt being prescribed. In short, justice delayed and justice denied, with offenders getting off lightly. Given this backdrop, one would expect stringent measures would be implemented to curb and control expenditure. Speaker, while the city faces the backlash of failing service delivery, it is business as usual in high-value matters of tender irregularities, over-expenditure, Section 116 breaches, abuse of Section 36, fraud and corruption, which has the National Treasury threatening to take away the equitable share. While the Honourable Mayor will undoubtedly downplay the 807 million irregular expenditure, the IFP believes that the AG's audited report will take this figure to over $1 billion. Speaker, the failure of the contract management and short-circuiting of SCM processes is, in our view, deliberate to manipulate tenders. Speaker, the IFP will not note this report and calls for a division. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mayor.
Honorable Speaker. Siyabonga, Honorable Speaker. Cha nathi si EFF. Aseneme neze ngalomkhuba lo oqhubekayo. Mhlamba abanye bayakhumbula nje i-report ephambilini ye-MPEC ekhuluma kona lokho ukuthi kunemali efanele siyicime enkulu kabi imali. Thina siyi-EFF umgomo wethu nje i-principle nje we are anti corruption. So ngeke sesivume into wrong siyibona. Ngiyayizwa i-argument ithi there was value for money.
Order, Somlo.
Order, Councillor.
Umethu ubabumia abayona corruption, oba naba corruption.
Bayazazi bona.
IFP.
Councillor Mayor, proceed.
Ikuphumile kaNongoma nje. Cha Speaker ngisasho ukuthi ke aseneme neze ngoba lento sibona nje umkhubo uyaqhubeka sithi lento izophela silosibekezela sithi izophela. Ama-officials, they are well trained, they are technocrats, they know what to do. Kodwa ngoba basobe nama-ulterior motives, they create demands for themselves. Bahlale nama-award letters in their desk, delay isikhathi so award ama-contract, size sifike esikhathini sokuthi imali ayispendiwe. Ngikhuluma nje ka-water nje mangabuza manje ukuthi imali nespendi ukuyekelweni ukuspendwa itamkoko icapha everywhere. So lento ayisiphethe kahle ayisijabulisi. Because value for money, it's immaterial to us as the EFF. Sifuna ukubona i-consequence management. Asikwazi uku-write offer imali kuqala engekho umuntu ochajiwe. What is primary is for consequence management, then we write off the money. Because ngizokwenza le-analogy nje, Honorable Speaker, of i-retail industry. Kuna lento ekuthiwa bayazi obamadlala bake baba ma-shop steward. Kuna lento ekuthiwa short and overs. Akuthi ukuthi uma over ethilini you are off the hook. Because that thing could have happened the other way around. In company lose imali. So ukuthi there was value for money is really immaterial for us. Sifuna ukubona abantu bedemotwa, becharged of monies. So CEFF say I note a report with those concerns and you are really serious about it. And nje asijili futhi lo. Siyabonga.
Thank you, Councillor Mayor. Bab Mayor.
No, thanks Somlomo. Manje mawubiza ubaba Mayor mangikude ngizosengathi uthi Mayor ngicishe ngangena kanti buthi Mayor. No, thanks Honorable Speaker. Firstly, we need to correct some of the sentiments that our honorable councillors are raising. The big chunk of this irregular is as a result of the changes when you remember that the FFA, when it was challenged, and those changes needed to be effected, especially with all the contract with CPG. So that's what constitutes the big chunk of this. So for you to correct your books, it is important, Honorable Speaker, that you correct this by regularizing. That is why there is a sentiment which say that there was value for money. There is value for money. Even committees that considers such submission, they look at whether was it any value for money, was this a fruitless expenditure or what? So it doesn't even constitute a fruitless expenditure. So there was value for money. So we need, if you do not do that, it deals with your books in terms of your financial statements, because Auditor General, when they issue their own audit opinion, they will be basing their opinion on such an action if you don't rectify it or regularize it. So there's an accounting exercise that you are called to do so that you make your books account to Auditor General and National Treasurer. But the other issue, Chair, the lull that has been there for the Financial Misconduct Board, we have reinstated the board. The board has started to do its work. Cases are coming to us in our committees so that those who may be responsible for something which is unbecoming in terms of how the monies were spent, or we identify that we need to recoup some of the resources from such individuals. That is going to happen because the Financial Misconduct Board is already submitted to us and to this Honorable Council that always considers such reports. So if we say there's no consequence management, it's not a true reflection. But what is a true reflection is that there are cases as we speak which are going through the disciplinary processes, and those individuals responsible will face consequences going forward. So we as the ANC, firstly, we are saying this irregular expenditure, there was value for money, and there is no corruption, because if we say there's corruption, any councillor who want to raise serious allegations about corruption, you forward that through the relevant structures to investigate those allegations. But what is before us is what we need to process and regularize in terms of keeping our books in a good state. So we are hopeful that as we are dealing with this, regularizing this, our books will be in a very good state, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much. We submit as ANC, we accept it.
Thank you, councillors. Are the resolution agreed? Thank you. Therefore, noting. Councillors,
For noting, Speaker. We indicated that we're not noting this item and we want a division on it.
The IFP not voting. Can you record that?
And we want a division.
Sorry, Speaker. Sorry, Speaker.
Order. Councillors.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
Ukaunda ngapha.
Yes, sir.
Sake safuna legal opinion la ukuthi makuthiwa report is for noting and you say you are not noting, what is the meaning of that? I think there is a challenge over there with councillors. So the report, if it's for noting, you just note because you have heard it. You have put your opinion. You just note it. It doesn't mean that you are voting for the report or against the report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
No. Thank you, councillors. Let me address one issue here. It's now 5 o'clock, right? We made a commitment in our meeting with whip of parties to conclude or to close the meeting at 5:30. And that commitment stands. Agenda, we remain with more than 20 items, if not 31, if not 30 something, right? Is impossible that by 5:30 we would have exhausted all the items, right? What I want to, we still have an MPEC report. We also have an in-committee item that have to be attended to. I've requested the acting city manager to identify for us statutory items so that we prioritize those items. But by 5:30, I want us to close so that you leave early as per our commitment. But may I have your attention, please? If we adjourn this meeting, in terms of our rules, we have to convene in the next 7 days. I want to suggest that when we convene visually. Then councillors will normally have load sheddings at a time that will announce, of which will be 10 o'clock. We'll appeal to those councillors to come to City Hall for them to connect so that we don't get excuses of councillors in their communities or areas who are load shedded at a time where the council is reconvening. Now, because getting the venue, and other logistics is always difficult for us when we are reconvening after we've adjourned council, because we have to adjourn after 7 days. We don't have sufficient time to look around, deal with all the logistics. Hence, I'm suggesting that we all work together to convene visually to deal with all the items that you won't be able to deal with them today. I'm saying this because already now is already 5:04, and at 5:30 we have to close, and there's still a lot of reports that have not been considered. I'm not opening for a debate. I'm just putting that because it's a decision of the Whips Committee. City Manager, let's proceed. Apologies, I was just consulting the acting city manager, Dr. Mngoni, so that we agree on which those items. Let me, councillors, let me have your attention. Let me allow Dr. Mngoni to read out those items that we feel that we can deal with them in the next 30 minutes, so that in your agendas, you note those items.
Speaker.
Sorry, Somlom.
Speaker Somlom.
Yes, Councillor Mngango and Kuala.
I think, Speaker, you're going to confuse us. Can we finish the item we're dealing with first? Then we can go to that one, because we're still debating about noting. As Action SA, we don't want to be bulldozed in noting the item. We are not noting the item. Whatever definition you can get from legally, but we're not noting.
No,
Just like I
but
call
you
not noting the item.
But Mngango respond to Mayor for that is no need. There's no need. We are done with the item. The item has been noted.
No, we're not noting it.
Chair.
We're not noting it. It must be recorded. We're not noting it. That's all you're asking.
That's why the IFP raised the point. It was recorded.
Yes.
Action SK record that.
Yes,
They're not
thanks.
noting it. Thank you.
Speaker,
Let's get the acting city
Speaker,
items.
Speaker.
On noting again.
No, because this has ifuzela for future meetings. If we are allowed note to note, there must be a standard agreement, because there are items that we're also not happy about, but therefore noting. So if there's an option to sit here and not note, we must all be able to exercise that option.
Nyambose, this matter was discussed.
Is there such an option to not note?
No, there's no such option. Listen, there's no such option, but if councillors feel to express that view, I can't stop them to do that. But they know very well, because Jomane, in our meeting, this matter was discussed, clarified. If the item is here for noting, you can't say you are not noting the item. But colleagues, they continue to insist on something knowing very well that is wrong. But Nyambos, I don't want us to waste time discussing that, because Kuala and Mango, they're wasting our time deliberately. They know. Acting City Manager. Order. Let's listen to the item that we are going to deal with.
Thank you, Chair. The first item, Chair, will be 2.8.
Page?
Page 13.
Page 13.
2.8.
Item 2.8.
And the next one, Chair, will be 4.4 on page 26.
Page?
26.
Page 26, item?
4.4.
Page 26, item 4.4.
The next one on page 28, 4.5.
Page 28 is 4.5.
4.5, yeah.
The third item.
The next one, Chair, on page 38, 5.3, yeah.
Page 38, item 5.3.
That's all, Chair, on this agenda.
Thank you very much. It means there are 4 items in the supplementary agenda that we're going to deal with. Then all other items, we'll deal with them on a date that will be announced, where we'll be on a virtual platform.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My apologies. I was trying to, because I'm using these electronic gadgets. So as he was identifying items, I was busy trying to page through from a borrowed document this side. So I might have missed this. There's an item from our committee, I think it relates to the demarcation board item. We would like to move that item for prioritization because the program starts on Monday. And therefore, if it starts, it's going to put us in trouble with the councillors because they are going to come back and say we started without the approval. So
Okay.
I'm just...
Okay, Councillor, Acting City Manager, let's note that urgent item so that we don't find ourselves in trouble before the program is being implemented on Monday.
Okay, no, noted.
You'll able to find it. Councillors, it means
And then Chair, on the second supplementary.
we are moving now to the second supplementary agenda. Order.
It's item 3.
Order.
Item 3 on page 6.
Page. Thank you.
Now, Speaker, sorry.
Yes.
We have difficulty following the pages because we don't have the hard copies.
Of the second
The
supplementary.
second supplementary agenda.
What happened, Secretariat?
Benzine.
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Thank you, boss.
Cool.
Order, councillors, let's do this. We will move straight to page 18, item 2.8. Page 18, item 2.8.
Thank you, Chair. Item 2.8, implementation of debt payment relief for 3-month period. The report is here for approval. Committee recommends.
Thank you. Page 13, I'm looking now at my... Right, I've got Councillor Mwango on 2.8. I've got Councillor... Okay, no. Councillor Solomon is proposing an amendment.
Councillor Byrne is proposing the amendment, Mr. Speaker, and Councillor Solomon is seconding.
No, but here is Solomon who proposed amendment, then Ben second.
Well,
But
that's a typing error, sir. May I speak first?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can take that proposal. Councillor Ben? Can I allow you to speak?
Yes, it might be easier if I read my handwriting, Mr. Speaker, than leave it to you to do. But the DA supports the principle. I make that clear from the outset, the principle of the report. In fact, we believe it should go further, so we're suggesting 3 amendments. The first amendment is to give effect to put it into effect for 6 months, not 3 months. So the first change is to change from 3 months to 6 months. So let me read my wording. The words 6 months be substituted for the words 3 months. The second amendment is the date 31st of March 2024 be substituted for the date 31 December 2023. And the third amendment is to do away with the 5% and 10% deposits. So that's done by the deletion of the words by paying 5% down payment for residential customers and SMMEs, and the 10% 10% down payment for non-residential customers. Those words are in the first recommendation and in the second recommendation. So I'd like to move those amendments, please.
Yeah, I'm sure councillors do get what Councillor Ben is trying to convey to council. Is the amendment supported? The amendment has been raised by Councillor Ben as he has read it, supported by Councillor Solomon. Is the proposed amendment, Councillor, supported? Let me have the screen, please. Let me have the screen.
Mr. Speaker, are you going to put it to the vote before I've proposed the amendment? Before I speak to the amendment?
Oh, I thought maybe when I was allowing you to speak, you were speaking at the same time. But if you want to say something more, you can.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I have to say that I thought the amendments were so self-evident that there would be no opposition to it, so I'm surprised to hear there might be some opposition. In fact, in the Finance Committee, we floated the idea of extending it, and the response from the other side of the House at the time was, well, if we need another one, we can do another one afterwards. And frankly, we'd prefer to avoid the ramshackle approach of trying something as a small measure and doing it again later. Let's grab the bull by the horns and accept that it is a good idea. It needs to be implemented. 3 months is too short. We tried it over the festive season last year, December, January, February, I think, and not many people took advantage of it because it wasn't well publicized and it wasn't long enough. So we want to stretch it to 6 months. So that's the first two amendments. And the third one is to make it easier for the people who simply do not have the cash to pay the 5% of the amount outstanding or 10% in the case of businesses. So frankly, we're trying to make it more extensive, to extend the ambit of the proposal, and I'm surprised anyone's opposed to it.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Penn. Councillors, is the amendment supported? Let me have the screen, please. Let me have the screen.
Chair. The problem is it's supported by Solomon.
Let me have the screen, please. Those who are in support of the proposed amendment, please raise your hands. Those who are supporting the proposed amendment as read by Councillor Penn, raise your hands.
Speaker.
No, we're voting now, not taking hands.
Speaker, are you combining them because we're supporting part of it, not all? Are you combining all the amendments?
No. We are voting on what Councillor Penn has submitted.
But Speaker, you are combining all amendments, which I don't think it's the right process. You must go by each amendment.
There's two amendments.
Because I might agree, Speaker, with the two amendments, not all.
Those who are against the proposed amendment, raise your hands.
Against.
Those who are against, please raise your hands.
For the poor.
You can see who sold out. Come on, Action SA, change. Come on, Zwakele.
Thank you very much. Ningahlisa izandla, those who abstain.
Etayisa kanjani? Well done, Zwakele, well done.
More illegal connections. Well done.
Thank you. Al-Jama, you have not voted. Al-Jama, are you in support, abstain, or against?
No, I supported the amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Support the amendment, thank you. Thank you very much. Those who are in support, 83.
Chair.
Those who are against.
Please double check your figures. It's not adding correctly. It's not taking the left-hand side column and adding it.
Can we correct, update the figures, please?
Come on, Zokele, change your vote quickly. You know you want to.
Come on, Swakele.
Come on, Zokele. Come on, Zokele.
The problem, the item is supported by Solomon.
Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that?
Come on, Zokele.
Thank you. Order. Those who are in support of the amendment 87, those who are against 92, those who abstain 3. Therefore,
You
the
are still
amendment is
beaten
not
in any
supported.
case.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the substantive item.
Mana, sorry Somlo.
Zokele sold us.
Sorry Somlo.
Councillor Kuala.
Oh, iyatita ke lento. Kubalwa kanjani la? Siba 182 kodwa abantu abavotile ba 178.
Hayi kahle ukwala. Councillor Pekte, you are on the floor.
Cha kubalwa kanjani ngiyabuza ngoba angiboni phela.
Let's allow
Sinishaya senihlangene.
Councillor Pekte, sorry. Order, councillors.
Akugone emabhida la wekwala.
Order.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. We welcome this. If you take into consideration our debt has gone up, our debtors have gone up to 26 billion, of which 6.2 in the last year alone. That accounts for 37% water, 27% rates, and 16% electricity. So 19 billion of that, or 47%, 74% is household debt. And the reality of it is people cannot afford to pay anymore. That's the reality of it. We have overtaxed them. We are charging them too much. They cannot afford. We've got 54% water loss that we're trying to make up. We're trying to make up the deficit by billing people. So it's come to the point where people have to have an out. And this is the only out. It's a pity that we're not looking at a 6-month period instead of bringing it back here in 3 months and asking us to revise it again, because that's going to happen. We are going to come back because the number of people that are defaulters at the moment, there's just too many to process in a 3-month period. It's absolutely impossible. But one would also have to ask that it does not come to the point where we say, come and make an arrangement and we'll look at your account later. Because a lot of these accounts are as a result of meters not being read, estimates being taken, faulty meters, faulty charging, and then when the people come, those do not get attended, but in some instances run over a year without being attended. People then get disconnected. So we ask that there's a two-prong. While we are looking at giving people debt relief, which we've called for a long time, and I agree, we have to do it, we must also look at rectifying their accounts so that we bring them in line to what they should be, and that we also read the meters instead of estimating. If you take into account, in August alone, we had 97,000 unread meters, 13,000 of those being not read for a year. That's electricity. When it comes to water, 521,000 meters not read, of which 63,000 for over a year. We are ourselves admitting that one of our problems is the fact that we are not reading meters and estimating people. And then we come to people and say, suddenly, we have not read you for 9 years and we give you 100,000 rand bill. We need to fix while we are also giving debt relief. I plead, let's not bleed the people and come with that. You can sign now, we'll fix it later, but later never comes. I can tell you that happens all the time. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Pekte. Councillor Anipen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in July this year, the IFP caucus called a joint meeting between the Departments of Water and Sanitation, Electricity and Revenue. The aim of the meeting was to get a better understanding around the Council's social package. We highlighted our concerns around the water debt relief program, that whilst it did give a write-off to customers, there were some restrictions that compromised the livelihoods and the quality of life of these customers. We spoke too about the indigent policy and the anomalies around those ones, and the delays in processing applications. We also spoke about how apprehensive customers were about entering into credit agreements because of the large deposits, high interest charges, and their fears of being unable to keep their commitment to the city. In saying that, Mr. Speaker, the IFP called at that meeting for the reinstatement of the debt payment relief program, as we believe that it would provide much needed relief to the customers and generate an income or revenue for the city. We are delighted to see that the consideration given to NGOs, faith-based organizations, old age homes, etc., is one that is quite plausible. The IFP then encourages all citizens who need to take full advantage of the program, and we request that the city does extensive advertising of the program, but more importantly also brief the staff at customer services centers on the terms and conditions around the program, because oftentimes what happens is when these customers go to the Sizakala centers or the customer centers, service centers, the staff are not completely aware of what the program entails, and customers are sent back and forth. I know at finance committee level, the mayor had given an undertaking that they will look at some of the red tape and bureaucracy, and I think that is also welcomed. So, Chair, as the IFP, we fully support this item, and we look forward to how it will take flight, and know that it will be very, very impressive to all our residents. We thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mwango.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Action SA welcome this initiative. We do, however, believe that there are problems that need the city to look at and get addressed, like the issues that deals with a billing system, which sometimes having some errors, and also the estimates that create a lot of problems for the ratepayers, where you'll find that while someone is prepared to pay, but they've got disputes over the bills. So we do believe that we need to get our in-house into order, but having said that, we do support the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Maharaj, MF.
Speaker, the problematic billing system from inception has had a historic impact on debt accumulation due to unresolved disputes and other social detriments like growing unemployment. Therefore, the MF welcomes this debt relief program. However, like what Councillor Jonathan said, this relief program must be widely advertised in all wards, as basic lights and water services are human rights issues, and the council must practice fair administrative justice given the reasons advanced. Thank you.
Thank you very much, His Worship. The Mayor, Councillor Kaunda.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. As a caring government that is led by the ANC, we are always responsive when our committees raised their concerns. Hence, we have decided that we must bring this submission and support it here, that we look at how our churches, welfare societies have been struggling because they are non-profit making organizations. So we look at this as a good intervention to rescue those institutions that are non-profit making organizations. But on top of that, Honourable Speaker, we'll be conducting road shows and councillors will be informed. Those road shows will be aimed at addressing some of the challenges that councillors are raising. The high bills that people will bring in those road shows will be addressed on spot. They'll bring their computers, laptops, everything in those road shows. Those who are complaining about the system that we all know, which we have already taken a decision as a city that the RMS must be removed and we must put a new system. We are happy to report that we are about to conclude the processes through SCM of the new system, so that means it will also kick in. But the other intervention, Honourable Speaker, will be ensuring that the meter reading is improved, as colleagues have raised it as a concern and members of the public. The issue pertaining to how we've been issuing our bills, because people are raising a concern about how complicated our bills look like. When they read them, it's even complicated to understand what you owe, what you do not owe. So we are in the process as well to simplify our own bill system so that the bills that are sent to committee members. So with those interventions, the ANC as a progressive people's movement, it is really intervening, and we are looking forward for all parties to support us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Baba Mayor. Councillors,
Press
are
conference.
the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Chair. The next one is on page
Page 26.
page 26.
Yeah.
Capital budget allocation for community bakery program. The report is here for approval. Committee recommends.
Page 26, item 4.4. Let me check my speakers here. I've got a speaker, Councillor Gupega. I've got Councillor Gupega. Then I've got Councillor Shlomuga. Councillor Gupega.
Oh, thank you, Chair. Speaker, I think this should be a learning curve in most of the committees. In our committee, we develop a strategy, especially for the ECOD, that if there are any program that need to be done, there must be a site inspection, which gives most of councillors an idea on what is happening. And I think, Speaker, if most of the committees can adopt that, it will save the councillors time, because there will be no much debate, which I believe that need to be applauded. And as Action SA, we fully support this program because it will create employment, and this will be a sustainable businesses. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Pega. Councillor Shlomuga.
Speaker, I am a speaker as well.
No, what you can say, Councillor, because I gave you that permission. You can just say, Speaker, I want to speak on the item, not to say, because your name is not here, just say I want to speak, because we are free to do that. Yeah. Ungazami ungiropa. Unelungelo.
Mayingasipindela leya part yekhekhe nje mayikhulu.
Kukhulunywa ngebakery vesi mayor so kuyahlangana.
Order, you can now come in, Councillor. You can come in. You can come.
Oh, okay. Thank you. As the Democratic Alliance, we welcome this report because our small businesses iwona enza ukuthi umnotho wethu unyuke. But we'll also like to say that we are disappointed ukuthi this program was not put on the original budget. So abantu bakithi sengazuthi nje banikwa insalelo ukuthi okay makhona okusele seniyathola nani. Otherwise we welcome the report ngoba vese abantu abawathanda amakhekhe. Siyabonga.
Thank you, Councillor. Thanda amakhekhe. Councillor Shlomuga.
Ngiyabingelela Speaker amakhosi asendlonkulu. CNC siyamukela le report sishayile izandla kakhulu I cluster yethu economic development olida uhlalo uThembo waKaNtuli ukuthi nabantu abahlala emakhaya namhlanje sesobona amabhizinisi abo esimama subone nomnotho waseThekwini abantu basemakhaya becontribute ukuthi umnotho waseThekwini uphaka usimame ikakhulukazi le program abesibuka ithinta kakhulu abantu besifazane abantu abasha abantu abaphila nokukhubazeka. That means you are the government caring as the ANC. Siyabonga kakhulu futhi ngakho sithe akuzona insalela kahle kahle sithe ayithathwe ibudget isondezwe mawuthi uyafunda kahle ama recommendation bekufanele yenzeke next year. So isizonzeka manje ngoba asifuni mabe sesenza next year bese kusasa sesenza leyo mpahla. Siyabonga kakhulu CNC siyayisupport. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you, Councillor Shlomuga. Councillors, are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you very much, Acting City Manager.
Thank you, our Speaker. The next item is on page 28, item 4.5. Reprioritization of the business support, market and tourism unit capital budget and rollover for a following grant funds. Committee recommends.
Page 28, item 4.5. Akasibheke ikhulumi la, azikho ikhulumi. Azikho. Councillors, are the resolution agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Hayi nifuna ukugodwa ngempela manje. City Manager.
Next item is on page 38, item 5.3. Request for authority to transfer funds to various projects within the waste water design branch in 23-24 financial year. Committee recommends.
Kahle ke. Asikafiki lapho. Asikafiki lapho. Item 5.3, page 38, eh?
Yes.
Lana sinesikhulumi la umnumzana uMncwango.
Use withdrawing.
UMncwango la.
It's covered.
Uyakhuluma. Councillor uMncwango uyena yedwa ya. Councillor uMncwango.
No, thank you. I won't be long, Speaker. I think one must say we support this item.
Okay,
And we always support.
Sorry, no, I made a mistake akayedwa. UMncwango uno Anipen, eh? Uno Anipen. Yes.
Nzomkhava. So, Honourable Speaker, we as Action SA will support any initiative to move funds towards dealing with the sewer challenge in our city. So on that basis, we support this item 110%. Thank you.
Thank you, Mncwango. Councillor Anipen, with your minute donated.
No, Chair, it's actually Councillor Gwala, not me. It's a
Not you.
typographical.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Councillor Gwala.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Kwala.
No, sibonga sihlalo. Lana ke kunebhidani solid. Singekho sure ukuthi into kanjani. Kodwa ikhona into ethi Ward 62. There's a project eqhutshwayo while kuthathwa amafanda kho. So mhlawumbe nje IFP ke besifisa ukuthi siyo investigator. Then bese sibuya ke okwamanje sithatha istand sithi siya abstainer up until siyayibona lonto ngoba kuthiwa iproject iyaqhutshwa kodwa isiphuca imali okubi ke nokho esingeke sikuphasise kodwa we abstain. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kwala. Councillors, are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Siya abstain thina njenge IFP.
With the abstinence from the IFP. Thank you very much, City Manager.
The next one, Chair, I think is on page 60.
60.
Item number 7.
Page 60, item 7.
Municipal demarcation boundaries, formal investigation process. The report is here for noting and support.
There are no speakers
Committee
on
recommends.
the item. Councillors, are the recommendation agreed?
Speaker, Speaker.
Yes, Councillor Ngumalo.
Ngiyabonga. Cha, bengifuna ukuyikhulumisa Speaker.
Khulumisa mfowethu.
Danko. No, Speaker, mhlambe umuntu sifisa ukuthi njengenkatha yenkululeko yesizwe sifisela nje uSpeaker kanye nomunicipal manager ukuthi engathi lezi ingxoxo lezi zingaba impumelelo ngoba okusemqoka kuthina Speaker yokuthi kungasiphatha kabi ukuthi lezi indawo lezi okungenzeka umkamo ugcine weekly eThekwini.
Order.
No, Speaker. Kusayinkathi enkululeko yesizwe noma iIFP Speaker. Angasimislead uSpeaker lo.
Awusiyeke kancane.
Akho-ke.
Hey, apologies, Councillor Ngumalo, proceed.
Akho-ke siyinkathi yenkululeko yesizwe ke siyafisa ke sihlalo Speaker ukunifisela inhlahla nino municipal manager ukuthi engathi lezi ingxoxo zingaba impumelelo ngoba angeke size siyakuthokozela ukuthi lezi indawo lezi zigcine ziphuma lapha eThekwini ngoba siyaqonda ukuthi siphuma esikhathini lesinzima seCovid lapha sisazama ukuthi sibuyise amandla ethu njengeTheku ngakho ke makuzoba nezindawo ezizophuma ziye kwamanye ama district and yet nathi kuyizona ezisilekelelayo ukuthi sikhuphule umnotho wethu ngakho ke siyafisa ukuthi ke engathi ke lo mhlangano ningawubambisisa okuyikhali zeTheku kungabi bikho kuphumayo kungaphansi kweTheku siyathobeka.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kumalo. Councillors, are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Thank you, Chair. Babu Speaker, the next report is the fourth report of the executive. That was the last item from the third report.
Okay, let me invite the mayor to table the second supplementary agenda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Somlomo. On behalf of the Executive Committee that is in the seat of eThekwini, that does not have more challenges of managing load shedding, I wish to submit fourth report of the Executive Committee to your House.
Thank you very much, Babu Mayor. Dr. Mnguni.
Thank you, Babu Speaker. There are just two items on this one. The first item is on page 6, item number 3. Propose implementation of block sum approach to expedite implementation of the National Disaster Management Center approved project under the response and rehabilitation grants. Committee recommends.
Councillors, page 6, item 3, are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Amen.
The next one is item.
Speaker.
Okay.
Hayi bese
Ngapha kwenkathi
bikhona inkulumo la.
Sesivotile.
Ikhona inkulumo kwalo.
Thina sikavoti.
Awuyifaki inkulumo.
Njenga IFP la ikhomba ukuthi le i-disaster ikhona ngempela la akufanele sibuye senze khona i-review yokuthi kukhona indawo ezisele esingazange siyibone njengomkhandlu ukuthi zalimala sangalokho za. Ukwenza nje sibonelo lapha ngakwamashu kwa Ramdaris kunepipe main trunk esuwa esachithekele lokho zi. So besifisa ukuthi le ma implementwa ngempela kube khona la kuzophinde kwenziwe i-review ukuthi ikuphi la ingxenye ongakwazi kufikwe khona zikwazi ukukhaveka siyabonga. Kodwa we support item.
Thank you. The item is supported. Thank you very much, City Manager.
Thank you. The last item on this one is item number 5 on page 10. Approval of block sum reallocation within the wastewater operations capital budget. Committee recommends.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Dr. Mnguni, page 10, item 5. Are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Speaker.
Agreed. Thank you.
Speaker.
There is the hand.
Sithanda ukucheka ikhuluma kancane ke.
Kahleke ndaphambisa abaningi manje. Mbonambe?
Umbuyazi uyacela Speaker.
Yes, khuluma mfowethu.
Awusibonga. No Speaker okwethu kuncane nje eqembu enkatha. Lokho okwenziwe umkhandlu weTheku kukhombisa kona ukuthi hayi umkhandlu wethu weTheku ukhulile ngempela. Siyakweseka lokhu iIFP ngakokuthi namawadi okuyiwona affectekile ngezikhathi zezikhukhula abaliwe lapha. Kana labantu besebezokwazi ukuthola namanzi ahlanzekile nolwandle likwazi ukuvuleka lokhu kuzosiza ukuthi kugwemeke lendle echithekele olwandle ongenasidingo ukuthi abantu bethu abaseThekwini basebenzise ulwandle ngendlela abathanda ngayo. Siyaseka seIFP siyabonga Speaker.
Thank you very much. Councillors, are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. Let's clarify this. We have come to an end of our meeting, right? Again, what's going to happen, we are going to receive a notice. A notice will be informing you about the date, time of the meeting, but that meeting will be visual. Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned.
Sorry, Slalo, the tickets.